Arsenal 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. Kenny, I'm surprised you're still awake, if I'm honest, because that was an absolute shit show.
It's
And
funny. It's funny
go
you
on,
say that. It's funny
go
you
on.
say that because I spoke to everyone at the game, and I said I needed a pillow and I need a duvet or a quilt because I mean, let's face it, the goal was even a joke itself. You know, it was a shot which was a grass cutter hit the Shakhtar goalkeeper's back and went in the net, and then even the goal 2 up, the wrong person took the penalty, and. And the goalkeeper actually made a save, which was a harder job than the goal we scored. I mean, that performance and our approach basically is basically like, how to say it, an image of our manager and how negative he is. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, let's face it, Shakhtar Donetsk were the level of Bolton Wanderers who we played last month here in the Carling Cup. They're that level. In fact, I was actually nicer. I should be nicer to Bolton because Bolton actually, did more to hurt us and more to, penetrate us than Shakhtar Donetsk. Yet we were negative. Yet we put men behind the ball and made ourselves difficult to beat against Shakhtar Donetsk, who I repeat, are Carling Cup level. I mean, this manager is so bloody negative. It's so annoying. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for, organisation, but at that level, I mean, Bournemouth, we go down to 10 men. We're the team that's trying to win the league. Negative substitution. Man City, negative substitution. Understandable. But Brighton at home, negative substitution. This guy's negativity is killing us. I mean, the game, it was soulless. It was boring. It was so boring to watch. It was probably one of the most. And let's face it. Look, do you know what this reminds me of? And it's not going to happen but when a manager is on his last legs and you go to a football match and it's not the fact that you lose a game, you draw a game, win a game. It's the reaction of the crowd that the crowd is so soulless that they don't care. It was like that today.
Mm.
No, it was like that today. Me and my mate spent more time talking about tactics for Liverpool than we did about the match. It was, it was. You know what? You can't even call it pathetic because that's been sort of pathetic football. You can't even call it a shit show because that's been sort of a shit show. It was just soulless. It was
Abject,
crap.
soulless.
It was
Yeah.
crap.
It was
Let me repeat.
embarrassing, Kenny, if we're being completely
Yeah,
honest.
but let me just say this respectfully. Shakhtar Donetsk are crap. They're
Mm.
crap. Even when they got the ball and they got into attacking areas, they did nothing. They couldn't even, when they had shots of goal, they were grass cutters that got blocked. It was like we were inviting them, saying, please. It's like we got so bored that we thought, you know what, this is so boring, might as well. You know how it looks like when we play football and the team is so bad, you think, you know what, or you're in goal, you think, I need a bit of action. That's how it was today. It was
Yeah, it's almost
bad.
like give him a chance, like
It,
Calafiori slipping over deliberately.
I don't
Right.
know. It's like um, again, Thomas Partey was the best player, and he guess
Him
what?
and Raya. Him and Raya
Him
were
and
the best
Raya
of a
were the
bad
best
bunch
players.
again.
Apart from that, it was crap.
Yeah.
Martinelli scored a goal, but Martinelli was crap. Benjamin White came back for the first half, was crap. He got roasted, but because they're so crap, they couldn't take advantage of how bad Benjamin White was. People say Benjamin White was precautionary. Fuck that. It was tactical because it was so
Yeah, he was
bad.
crap.
Yeah, and I got slagged off because I had a go about you know Gabriel Magalhaes not being good on the ball. Well, on the ball, he's crap. Hence the fact that when this manager finally, works that out, he's going to play Carafiori. Carafiori is being groomed to take over from Gabriel Magalhaes. So all these talk about Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba being the new Adams and Bold and the best defensive partnership ever, please curb your enthusiasm. Please stop selling those shirts because I'm not going to buy those shirts. And please stop selling that myth because I'm not buying into that myth. It is what it is. We saw a lot of in Europe. It just shows you why this idea of having an extended Champions League is so bad because what happens? You have teams like Shakhtar Donetsk. Shakhtar Donetsk. You could just if you if I closed my eyes and I said, who are you playing tonight? And you told me out the quality of the game, I could have said we were playing Bohemians of the Republic of Ireland, or we were playing FC Copenhagen or Bodo Glint, or Ostersund.
Not even that. It's even further down than that. Just some random team, random team in the Conference League.
Ludogorets, even one of those obscure teams that's so shit. And you know what I mean? I'm lowering myself to even using language like that, because I was thinking, what the hell did I get out of bed for? You know, I must love this club with passion, because that was awful.
Kenny, do you know what? When I was watching it, with Matty and Ola, and big up to them as well. Make sure you follow Kenny Ken's Insta. I'll share your bits in a minute,
yeah.
Right, but people were saying, like, and I've just read some of the comments on my fan cam. It was saying, I've just left the ground. It was boring. The atmosphere was dead. Yeah, everyone in my comments, was saying, because they had the volume up, was saying you could only hear the Shakthar fans.
That's all it was. It was so bad. I'll tell you one thing. It was like watching, and I say it respectfully, it was like watching the WSL game. And even that had more excitement. I was watching a bit of the WSL game between Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal. And that had more quality than the rubbish I watched today.
I watched the Bayern Munich Arsenal game the other day when I think I was on a show. I can't remember who I was on the show with. Yeah, I was watching the Bayern Munich Champions League women's game against Arsenal. Yeah, the game before he quit. Yeah, the manager. Yeah, 5-2 to Bayern. Hashtag pray for Bayern, obviously. Yeah, that game had more quality than that game tonight.
And the thing
it's embarrassing, Kenny.
And the thing that gets it, you've got internationals in the side. You had, even though you didn't have Saka, even though you didn't have Odegaard, the fact is you still had players who served us well, and I use the term loosely at times, last year. You still had the experienced players, maybe not in age, but in terms of football appearances. Martinelli's experience, Trossard's experience, both of them are internationals for their teams. You had, obviously, Thomas Partey, who I accept from criticism, Calafiori, Italian international. You had a team of internationals and basically our first team players. Yet you played a team, I repeat, that was no better than the Bolton side that came here last month. And
Facts.
You played defensive football. How does that happen? How do you play negative, safety-first football against a team that is not going to hurt you? A team doesn't have the quality to hurt you. Yet I don't know. Was it basically like, were you trying something out for the Liverpool game? Were you just thinking, you know what, this team is so crap. Why don't we just see, rather than practice our formation and our approach in training, why don't we do it against Shakthar next? Because we're going to win anyway. They're so bad. So why don't we just basically give them as much possession as they want? Because that way we'll be well tuned, and we'll have to practice, because that's what Liverpool are going to do. I mean, you can't even make it up.
Kenny, let me ask you a question. Sorry to cut in there. Right? Let me ask you a question. Right? Because we've all seen that. Nobody's fooling us, and there's top gooners that are not happy with that performance as well. So I'm seeing the worm.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I've said many times about top gooners and a lot of our fans, tomorrow is always another day with them.
Facts. But what was like? I know you said the atmosphere was dead in the ground. What was it like? Because I mean, Gabby Jesus, 29, didn't play bad, but he didn't play great, and he laid a couple on. He was bad, but he weren't.
It was awful.
I don't think any of them were good, if I'm honest. I thought he was one of the better ones, and he laid a pass on for Jesus, who was awful, by the way. Yeah, and this is what I wanted to ask you. What was the mood where you sit? Yeah, in your part of the stadium. What was the mood like when Jesus is missing chances, where like Rice is spanked, with like Rice running around in treacle, Marino looking like he's tranquilised?
Can I tell you, it was so bad. That I don't think the crowd cared. It was so bad. It was so bad that I say the crowd did anything, but we concentrated in the game. But we talked about Liverpool. It was so bad. We in it, and we're thinking, bloody hell. You know the depressing matches we watched when we first were in the Champions League. Europa League in 17-18. That game was like that.
Vorskler and teams like that.
Yeah, or Ostersund beat us. They beat us at the Emirates. But it's one of those things where you think the teams are so bad that you can't lift yourself because they're so bad. So because you can't lift yourself, and you lift yourself for the occasion, you actually slip into their level. And I think that's what we did today.
Yeah, the fans went down to the level of the play.
Yeah. But even, I'm talking about our players. Our players, because of the lack of motivation and because it was easy, slipped into the level. Basically, slipped into the Shakhtar next players' level, and that's what it is. That's the only explanation for that piece of shit that I just watched. Let's face it. You know, when you win a game in the Champions League, it's a great night. There's, it's played under the lights. It's exciting. You rush to the ground, and then you get a performance like that against a team that's not all that. Now, if I wanted to, and I wouldn't want to be a positive Arsenal fan, I could say, well, that's what happens when you extend the Champions League, because when you extend the Champions League, teams that are not of Champions League quality get by. But I turn it around and say, well, if you want to prove that teams like Shakthar Donetsk shouldn't be in the Champions League, you should go out and give them a shallacking, not play safety first football, which we did.
Yeah, facts. Listen, Kenny, get home safely, mate. I know it's late where you are. Yeah, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Kenny. Yeah, we don't play like that on Sunday. Otherwise, it's going to be a massacre and a bloodbath, mate.
I'm going to give you like a sort of like a heads up, or like I said, I'm going to leak something. I promise you, Liverpool are going to play safety first football. They're not going to play the rock and roll, grunge, Nirvana, Foo Fighters football that you got under Jurgen Klopp. It's more going to be like Beethoven, Mozart, Peter and the Wolf, like
they'll rock us to sleep. They'll rock us to sleep, mate. Because at the
end of the day, Liverpool will be happy with a point this Sunday, or if they nick it, nick it. But Liverpool are not going to give us any presents. So the onus is going to be on us to have a go. But let me just say one thing. A lot of people said, "Oh, you don't worry about Odegaard not being this side. Oh, we can cope." Just shows you the reason in football why there's a plan A and plan B, and it always shows you that anything other than plan A doesn't always work. It works in the short term, but long term, plan B is this pile of crap that we just saw today.
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's all I've got to do. At the end of the day, for the love of God, get Ranieri in this team. If not just for the the excitement, just at least give our attacking midfield some balance, because today it was turgid, it was boring, and it was just Arteta ball. And Mikel ball is basically a ball fest football. It's not exciting to watch.
Get on safely, mate. Big up for your time as well, mate. And hopefully someday you see something that resembles football. Love, Kenny. Appreciate you, mate. Take care.